Look at it. He says, my tears have been my food or my meat both day and night. Now that, my brothers and sisters, when I first read that, I didn't understand. I must be honest with you. I didn't understand it, Tony. What does he mean? My tears have been my meat both day and night. I did not understand. No matter what I read, it wasn't clear to me until I found myself in a place where I had to cry. I found myself in a place where I had to cry. And when I cried, the tears rolled down my face and fell on my lip. And I noticed when it fell on my lip, I tasted my tears. And I discovered that my tears were salty. Y'all ain't gonna help me. Preach for me. I discovered that my tears were salty. Jesus later on said, ye are the salt of the earth. And if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is then good for nothing but to be trampled under the feet of men. Listen, I want you to understand something. Salt was not intended to give you high blood pressure. Before our mama and them had refrigeration, the way they preserved their meat was through salt. Wish I had somebody. And all I'm trying to tell you is the only reason I made it through my tough time was the salt in my tears kept me alive. You ought to tell somebody, thank God I cried. Deliver me from folk who don't want to cry. Brothers, you ain't no punk if you cry. I don't know about you, but I've had some days where I just felt like if I can get a good cry, but I learned how to cry on and hold on, because soon after a while God will wipe. Yeah, I only made it because I cried. Thank God for my tears. Thank God that I could cry because my tears were my meat. Both day and night. So David's problem was, David's anguish was, it seemed that God was absent. What do you do in the midst of tough times when it seems God is absent? How do you handle it when you're calling him and he won't answer? What do you do when you know he sees you but he won't come? David says, as a matter of fact, I got people saying, where is your God? They've been watching me go to church. They've been watching me in Bible study. They've been watching me in Sunday school. They've been watching me clap my hands and get my praise on. And now I'm in the middle of trouble and I'm calling on you and you haven't come, and here they are asking, where is your God? What do you do when it looks like your friends are right? Well, I want to submit to you. Keep calling him. You already know, good place to shout. But listen, I don't care how much you got to call him. Keep calling him. I had somebody tell me you're not supposed to call him over and over about the same thing because it shows a lack of faith. Whatever. Whatever, dog. Listen. I'm sorry, but he's my God. And so, since he's my God, you can't tell me how many times to call him. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to call him. When I go throughout, I wish I had some callers in here. When I go throughout my day, I'm going to call him. I heard a song that said, Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. But watch this. Watch this. Not only did he feel like God was absent, it also seemed as though God has abandoned. Now understand that you can be absent and not abandon, but you can't abandon and not be absent. I used to work for child support enforcement, and we dealt with, sorry guys, we dealt with I ain't picking at nobody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, most of the absent parents were brothers, were men. And having to deal with that, I noticed that while there were some men who did not live in the home, they did not abandon their children because they took care of their responsibility. Oh, come. They met their child support every month, and not only did they meet their child support, they were going the extra mile so that their child always knew that they were daddy and that daddy loved them. Listen, the key is many times the recipient, the child, didn't notice it. All I'm trying to tell you is, even though you are in a place of tough times, God has never abandoned you. You just haven't noticed. He's always taken care of his responsibility. You don't know what it's telling. He's always provided for you, even in your tough time. Listen, even if you had to borrow some money, well, God just happened to drop somebody in your way where you could borrow some money. Even if you had to catch a ride, well, God just had somebody come by your way who you can catch a ride with. I want you to know that my God shall supply. He won't leave you. No. Will he forsake you? The psalmist says in verse 9 and 10, he says, I will say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why do I go mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? As a shattering of my bones, my adversaries revive me. It seemed like God was absent. It seemed like God had abandoned, and now he needed soothing from his aching. But God knows how to make you feel better. Listen, he will comfort you in your tough times. Now, the word comfort, my brothers and sisters, is actually a compound word. It means actually to come and fortify. Many people think that the word comfort is just him saying, I'm going to rub your head, everything's going to be all right. No. He's going to do that, but he's going to come rub your head and then fortify you. In other words, not only is he going to tell you that it's okay, but he's going to give you strength to make it through. That's why in my weakness, his strength, y'all ain't gonna help me, is made perfect. So watch him, David's anguish. He's hurting and he's in pain. But after we see, I'm out of here, after we see David's appetite and David's anguish, we also see David's assurance. Look at verse 4. He says, these things I remember, and I pour out my soul with me. I remember when I to go to church. This is what he said. As a matter of fact, I led procession into the church. Matter of fact, listen. I believe David was saying, I was the first one who would go into the church saying, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness and come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us and not we ourselves. For we are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless him. Why? For the Lord is good. Let me try it over here. I said, for the Lord is good. Let me try it right here. I said, for the Lord is good. He ain't been good to you. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting and his truth endureth. David said, the reason that I made it is because I remember his goodness. If you're going to make it through your tough times, you got to remember what he's already done. Wish I had a praying church. If you're going to make it through your present day trouble, you got to remember what he's done already. Wish I had a praying, wish I had a praying church. If you're going to make it through your present day struggle, you got to remember what he brought you through yesterday. And because he is the same yesterday and today and forevermore, if he can do it then, he will do it again. Say yeah. David says, I remember his goodness because I realized that where I am, I didn't have to be. And everything I have, he gave it to me. All that I know, he taught me. Everywhere I've been, he brought me. Where I'm going, he's taking me. And so in order to make it through your tough times, you got to remember his goodness. Is there anybody in here who knows that the Lord is good? Say yeah. Say yeah. Has he been good to you? Say yeah. If the Lord has been good to you, shake somebody's hand and say, neighbor, the Lord has been good to me. Ain't he all right? Say yeah. Ain't he all right? Yeah. But not only must you remember his goodness, you also have to rest in his grace. Listen, his grace woke me up this morning. His grace started me on my way. Ain't the Lord all right? Is there anybody in here who's grateful for his grace? God gave me what I didn't deserve, and he held back what I did deserve. Thank God for his grace. His grace is wonderful. His grace is my joy. If you're going to make it through, you gotta thank God for his grace. Say yes. Say yes. Yeah. One more thing. If you're gonna make it through, you got to be assured of his generosity. He's gonna take care of you. Say yeah. Listen what the psalmist said. He said, the day is coming when I'm going back to church. The day is coming when I shall praise him. I'm in a bad situation now, but I'm going to praise my way through it. Say yeah. I'm going to praise my way through it. Say yeah. Ain't God all right? If you're in a tough time, you got to praise your way through it. Ain't God all right? You got to tell the Lord, thank you. Thank you for trusting me with my trouble. But when he has tried me, I shall come forth as pure gold. Say yes. Say yes. Ain't he all right? Is there anybody in here who knows that there's refreshment for tough times? There's joy for tough times. There is peace for tough times. Hang on in there. Don't you to let go, do me one more favor. Take somebody's hand and say, neighbor, I got some good news for you. I got some real good news for you. I want you to know that just in case you're having some rough time, I know a man, I know a man, I know a man who is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before his righteous throne with exceeding joy. He is the only wise God with power, dominion, power forever. Say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Won't he bring you through it? If you know he will, say yeah. If you know he will, say yeah. If he's healed your body, say yeah. If he saved your soul, say yeah. If he brought you out, say yeah. Somebody ought to give him glory. He's God all by himself. Say yeah. Say yeah. He'll do it. Do you know he'll do it? Do you know he'll do it? Do me one more favor, and I promise I won't bother you. Take another neighbor by the hand and ask him, say, neighbor, do you know what I know? Ask him again. Say, do you know